All right, so 2 days ago, I quit my job, and I really don't have a job, a guaranteed job, lined up to replace the one I just left. And honestly, oddly, it feels very good. I feel a weight lifted off my shoulder. I wasn't happy at my job. I feel like a lot of other people can relate to being at a job where they're not fulfilled. There's no way to move up in the job. It's basically a dead end job. You're just stuck. You're doing a job that you're not happy doing, not getting paid enough. You know, your coworkers might be BS. Your manager might be annoying. Your boss might be annoying. Um, might might even micromanage you, and it can be a lot of different things. But I feel like a lot of people can relate to just the fact of working a job they're not happy at. And I honestly was anxious before I, made that final call to my manager. But I'm so glad I did it, because this past 2 weeks, I've just been so anxious. Like, I don't want to say depressed, but like I was starting to feel down. My mood was, drastically different from when I first started the job, and I just wasn't happy. So, to give a little bit of a backstory, so last summer I got my security certification to be a security guard, and I got it just like to have a second option. I have a lawn care business, or yeah, I was doing lawn care full time for the last 2 years, and I kind of just got it to have a second option if I wanted to pick up a part time job. During the off season, the fall and winter where things slow down, I could just have something else that I can do that can keep money in my pocket, that type of thing. And I told myself at the beginning of the spring, unfortunately my truck went up on me. So I didn't want to rush to buy another pickup truck at the same price that I already got my pickup truck. So I decided to just wait, save up my money through the year, and buy a nice truck. I'm kind of just going on and on now, but basically, I made the final decision that I was going to do security for the full year, just to see what I can make out of having a security career, just seeing where I can take it. If I do it for a year and I'm making a lot of money and I'm comfortable, I'm happy with where I am in life, then maybe I'll just wait before I jump back into doing lawn care full time. So that was my plan. And that was 6 months ago that I started doing security for this one company. And when I started, I had just gotten my handgun permit in Maryland. And my plan was to start somewhere. Well, I wanted to start doing armed work, but I didn't have any experience. So I kind of just accepted doing an unarmed job just so I can get some experience, just so I can kind of get my feet wet and doing security. And I liked it when I first started. It was okay. I started when it was really, really cold outside, and I hate the cold. That was the only thing about it. But besides that, it was pretty cool. And like 3 months into it, I had a evaluation at the gun range so that they could see, how I handled a handgun, how I was good as far as my accuracy, as far as shooting. And it went like really well. It went great. And then my manager told me that as soon as they found somebody to replace me, where I was working at unarmed, that they would move me to an armed site. Then basically 2 months passed, like a month and a half, 2 months passed, and they said nothing. So then I asked for a performance review. I'm thinking like it's something maybe that I'm doing wrong. Maybe it's something that I'm not doing that I could be doing that could be putting me in a better position. But after the performance review, they said my performance was great. There was nothing wrong with my performance. They just they didn't think I had enough experience to do armed work. Mind you, there's a ton of armed places that will hire you immediately. Like if you have your handgun permit, your guard card, your security certification, they'll hire you to do armed work immediately. You know, only thing you have to do is have a firearm and have a duty belt, and they will hire you. So the fact that I've worked for them 5.5 months, 6 months, yeah, it would have been 6 months, 2 weeks from now, and they still didn't see that I had enough experience to do armed. It kind of was like the writing was on the wall. It was kind of like, okay, you guys just really want me to stay working in this position. That the area they had me at kind of had a high turnover. You know, a lot of people just come and go, or they don't want to work certain hours down there because it's a shopping plaza where there's a curfew for teens. They can't be out there, and they're gonna be out there. It's the end of spring going into summer. It's nothing but teens out there. So it's nothing but running back and forth. Some of the teens are disrespectful. You know, you got to call the police, but the police aren't going to rush there because it's not an emergency. Sometimes it takes the police an hour or two to even get there. So you just got to deal with these disrespectful teens, some of them. You got to deal with people parking in the fire lane. You know, you tell somebody to move from a spot that they're clearly not supposed to be in, and they get disrespectful. And it's like, it just wasn't worth the pay. It just wasn't worth the pay. But that's just giving a kind of like a background to why I decided to make my decision, you know. I feel like a lot of people can relate to being in a situation similar where it's like you're working too hard and not getting paid enough. You are promised opportunities to move up or to get placed in a better position at the company, but it seems like the company's trying to give you the runaround. And it's just like, that situation just wasn't for me. You know, I told myself I was going to do this for a year. It's already 6 months already gone. So now all I have is another 6 months, and I don't even have another gig lined up, guaranteed at least. I'm talking to a few security companies now, but I haven't had an interview yet. So we'll see how that goes. You know, I'd be willing to get another job and do armed work, but I feel like in today's society, a lot of people are like okay with being unemployed. And I also feel like the idea of being unemployed is scarier than actually being unemployed. You know? And I'm glad that I made the leap, because I've like I said, I have a weight lifted off my shoulder. Like, I'm just gonna do Instacart, and I still have a few lawn care clients that I still do that are in my neighborhood that, you know, so I'm going to be making the same amount of money that was making there. So it's not like I'm not making any, you know, that's not like I'm losing out on any money or anything. I'll have more time to do this. I think that's probably the main thing that I want to do. You know, I've been making this series on my channel, Rewiring My Brain, which after today, actually, I think it'll be 28 days, which is basically a month that I've, you know, started this. And I'll be uploading a video tomorrow, you know, me sitting down talking about what did I learn in this last 30 days? How far did I get? You know, kind of like just the ups and downs of everything that's been going on. So stay tuned for tomorrow for that video. But, you know, I'm also not the type of person who, like I said, there's a lot of people in this society, a lot of people who are millennials like myself who they just want to be unemployed. They want to get a check from the government. They want to, you know, sleep on their mom's couch or sleep in their grandma's basement or whatever the case may be. And they don't have no ambition, you know, and I've never resonated with that. Any point in time in life when I didn't have a job, I always had some type of motion, some type of money coming in from something, you know, whether it be me being younger, me finding hustles like mowing lawns in my neighborhood is kind of what got me into doing lawn care. But, you know, just mowing lawns, washing cars, shoveling snow, selling waters, you know, whatever I could do, you know, hauling. Once I got a truck, I started getting into hauling. And, you know, I always had something, you know, even when I have had jobs, I've always had some type of side hustle. And I feel like that's very important, is to have some type of motion going on at all times, whether you have a job or not. But I can't relate to the individuals that are millennials, or the people who are in their 20s to 30s that they just want to get a check from the government. The main reason that I made this channel, you know, and I think I really want to change the name of my channel from Chosen Creator to Chosen Creators, because I made this channel not just for myself, but to build a community. And I made this channel specifically because I think that humans were meant to create. Humans were meant to, I'm kind of getting off topic here, but I feel like humans were meant to create. And I don't resonate with the other people in society or other people who are around my age who just want to smoke weed all day. They have no ambition. They have no plan on how they're going to execute the goals that they want to achieve. You know, they're all talk. They have no execution, no drive, no passion. And in general, I just feel like it is tough. It is hard because right now the job market is cooked. Like, it's even if you had an ambition and you said to yourself like, oh, I want to do something in computer science, or you want to be a mechanic, or whatever it may be. You know, it's not easy just to find a job, even if you graduate from college. You know, my brother's graduating and he has a degree, or he's getting a degree in sports management, and he's having a hard time getting an internship. And it's like, it kind of leads people to not want to work. You know, if you're trying to put yourself in the best position, you know, getting out of high school, living in your 20s, and you're trying to get some type of job where you can move up in, or you're trying to go to school, get a degree to get a really good, high-paying job, it's like the opportunities out there are few and far in between. It's like it kind of discourages people from even wanting to make the attempt to try to find something manageable. It's a lot easier to just get a job, work it for 4 months or whatever, get fired from that job, and then just collect unemployment. I'm really relieved. I'm kind of at the point now where I'm happy to see what this next couple weeks is going to be like. I might even get my SPO certification, which is Special Police Officer, and that can, you know, open up the doors for, you know, for me to kind of further my security career. I can get really high-paying security jobs, and it's like an 80-hour course, so there was no way I was going to be able to take that course and have a full-time job anyway. So it's like this kind of opens up the door for me to get that certification. You know, I'm going to have more time to make this content. I think this next week that I'm not at a job anymore, I'm not at a full-time job, I'm going to be making YouTube videos every day. Since I started this channel, I haven't dropped a video every single day of the week, like 7 days in a row. And I think I want to try that, just to try to see what the feedback would be like. And yeah, it gives me more time to focus on my self-improvement, more time to focus on my series of me rewiring my brain. This last past month, I got no like B-roll footage of me like jogging or exercising or doing other stuff. So, you know, it kind of gives me an opportunity to have more time on my hands, so I can do more for my channel, do more for my series, and kind of focus on myself more. I've been reading this book lately, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm only like one chapter in, but I can already recommend this book. You know, he's talking about quantum physics. He's talking about, and he's not getting deep into quantum physics. I don't want to scare people from reading it because they hear quantum physics and they're thinking like, oh no, this book is probably going to be too much. He doesn't get deep into quantum physics, but he's talking about the idea of your thoughts and your emotions existing somewhere in the quantum field. The reality that you want in life is already out there somewhere in the quantum field. You just have to align your thoughts and your emotions and your vibration to match that reality. And once you do, that reality, either you will find it, either you will find opportunities that will lead to that reality, or those opportunities will find you, you know? So even though I'm only a chapter in, I can definitely recommend reading that if you're somebody who's trying to break out of having bad habits and, you know, all of that type of stuff. But I feel like I kind of rambled a little bit in this video. Well, another thing is I'm going to be trying to upload videos and make more videos more often just to get better at talking to the camera. I feel like a lot of my other videos, I have a monotone voice. I feel like I've done a little bit better in this current video because it's something that was personal to me. I'm talking about my life. But yeah, my journey is not necessarily etched in stone. I don't know exactly how this next month is going to go with me not working a full-time job, you know, me doing, I'm going to try to do Instacart just so I can make the same amount of money that I was making at my job. But I really want to put all of my effort into this content creation. I think I'm going to like not post as many shorts on here on YouTube and post more shorts on Instagram and TikTok. Try to focus on posting different styles and different stuff like that. But if you already been subscribed to my channel, I would like to say that I appreciate you guys. You know, I've reached 100 subscribers in only 3 months, so I'm actually really happy about that. My last 2 videos reached 100 views. Well, one is at 110, the other one is at 90, and I've honestly, like, I've seen a lot more success than I thought I was going to see in the first 3 months of making this channel. So, you know, I've been getting a lot of support from people who have seen me on my journey of rewiring my brain, and they're supportive. They're talking about how they're also on the same journey of breaking habits, and all of that stuff means the world to me, you know, because I'm trying to make a community of people who are really set on their goals, really trying to change their lives for the better. You know, it's, if you go back and look at all my shorts from the last like month, I wasn't perfect as trying to change my goals, you know, but you have to start somewhere, and you can't give up just because things aren't going perfect. But like I said, you know, I just quit my job. A great weight is lifted off my shoulders, and I'm actually a lot happier than I thought I would be. And you guys can look out for more content coming shortly from your boy. You know, I'm gonna be uploading like crazy because now that I don't have an actual job, you know, I can upload and make videos any time of the day, you know. So definitely stay tuned. You know, if philosophy, spirituality, or self-improvement is your type of thing, definitely make sure you follow, like this video if you enjoyed it. And I know I believe I can achieve my dreams, and I believe you can achieve your dreams too. Peace.